Hi there.
Hi, how's it going, Kylie?
Good. Thanks for having me again.
Alright, so it's 2 weeks later. Remind me again the goals we had set.
Um, well, you wanted me to try some yoga poses like on my own in my own home because it was more convenient than like going to a class. And then I kept a journal of how it went for me and when I did it and how I felt and stuff.
How did that go for you for the past couple of weeks?
It had its negatives and its positives. I like going home. I was like super motivated to do it. I think I did it very consistently for like 3 days, and then I kind of fell off the train. I like forgot to do it for a couple days, and then was just a little more like sporadic with it. So like I'd say I did it maybe 50% of the days overall.
Okay. What kept it from being higher? What was limiting you in like reaching the goals that you had set?
I've just had so many things on my mind. Like we just my team just ran regionals, so I was like preparing like all last week for like this big race. So like kind of doing like my stress relieving exercises like went straight to the back of my mind. And like even with like the reminders on my whiteboard, I think I kind of would just stare at them and not really see them. So I think I just have a hard time like internalizing it as a routine. It's still fairly new, so I definitely like to be more consistent with it.
What other challenges did you find along the way? Besides having regionals and not having enough time, kind of missing some of these.
I'd say that was about it. It wasn't any like notable lack of motivation. It was just I think lack of remembering.
That's good. That's good. That's not a motivation. It's you just forgot.
Yeah.
Which we can definitely improve upon that aspect. What worked? Either like the reminders or the yoga in general.
I think keeping a journal of it and recognizing that I did it and that I felt good while doing it, I think that really worked and motivated me to do it the next day.
Oh, what didn't work?
Didn't work? Maybe just like doing it so sporadically throughout the day, like whenever I had time, it makes it hard to like remember to do it. I think maybe if I scheduled it in at more specific times, that it would be easier to remember.
Okay, we can definitely incorporate that. Sorry.
No problem.
So for the next few weeks, would you like to continue with this?
Yes, I think I enjoyed doing it as sporadic as it was, and I think continuing in it would have some benefits.
Okay. We can definitely try and work in a little bit more of a solid, like day-to-day or even week-to-week plan, so it's not so sporadic.
Okay.
Because sometimes having spontaneous like events is not the best to like remember.
Yeah. I signed up for classes like 2 weeks ago, and I saw like I wasn't like super overloaded with credit, so I considered taking like a 1-unit yoga class next semester, but I'm hesitant to sign up because the only time I can take it is Mondays at 8 in the morning, and I'm afraid that if I commit to it, I'll have like a lack of motivation getting up that early on Monday to do it. But I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. Because I know athletes, they generally have early schedules anyways with like training and other things. incorporating yoga in as another day um, could be beneficial.
I'm just afraid that when I actually have to wake up at 8 in the morning for a yoga class, I'm afraid that I'm gonna not be consistent with going because it's so early in the morning. I'd like to be motivated to go. I just don't know if I actually will.
Okay. Hmm. So for the next couple, let's keep the class scheduled.
Okay.
You can always take it for a couple weeks, and then if you realize it's not your thing, then you can drop it.
Okay.
Have you looked into potentially taking classes outside of like campus, like off campus?
I haven't done that yet. It's something I'm interested in. I haven't taken the step to actually look for them yet.
Okay. Because there's classes on the week. How are your weekends? Because there are classes, I think, on the weekends.
I mean, normally my weekends are pretty chill. This semester, for some reason, I've just found myself doing homework for the majority of my weekend, and I'm afraid that I wouldn't be able to commit to a time slot on the weekends.
Okay.
So I'm not sure,
Okay.
but I would definitely like to.
Okay. With some yoga classes, you don't have to have like a specific. You don't have to go like every week. There's like class by class, so you could even try different types of yoga.
Okay.
Would that be something you'd be interested in looking into?
Definitely.
Okay. So maybe for this next week, we could look into yoga classes outside of the university, even if it's just like a day-to-day thing, not even like a whole course, because it seems like that might be easier for your schedule to pick and choose for certain days rather than it's on every Monday and Wednesday at 8 a.m. You could have like different days spread around.
Okay.
And then you said that the journal did work. So let's keep the journal up.
Okay.
Are there any, when you went through your journal, were there any like days that you found or any times that you found that like you were doing more yoga or that like you had more time available to do yoga?
I think definitely Mondays because running wise that's our easiest day. I think doing it the day of workouts, I didn't necessarily want to because like workouts are so intense.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, like I don't really feel a desire to do any supplemental activity,
Okay.
but maybe as like a de-stressor, it would be good to do it still on workout days, just maybe after the workout.
Okay.
So
what do you think would be reasonable for this next week? Days a week or like minutes per week?
I think days a week would give me something a little more concrete to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So maybe 3 days a week?
Okay, that sounds totally doable.
For about how long do you think?
There's a YouTube video that's 15 minutes, and I liked that amount of time. I think 15 minutes would be good.
Perfect. So 3 days a week for 15 minutes. Log it in your journal.
Okay.
And then I forgot to ask the most important question. Do you feel like these are helping?
I definitely do feel like it's helping. It's like an activity that doesn't stress me out. It does, I feel in better spirits when I complete it. I do think I could use something else to help me de-stress, like maybe before runs or before competitions that isn't so physical.
Okay. Because our end goal is, like, your goal is to find, like, an alternative way to get off of anxiety.
Yeah, and I think my moments of highest anxiety, I could use an alternative method that doesn't require any physical activity, if that makes sense, or like any exercising.
Yeah. Is there anything that comes to mind, like I don't know, deep breathing, animal therapy, um, looking at cats on the internet?
Well, I do have a cat at home, and I think having her is wonderful, and she does make my everyday a lot more enjoyable, a lot more stress free. I think maybe just like in moments of like highest anxiety, I think I could use something that's just like tangible, like in the moment.
Okay. Um, I have read about, or I have seen methods where a rubbing stone. It's a small polished stone that when you get anxious, you just like rub it. And
Huh.
it kind of helps get your mind off of things, or like maybe like a stress squeeze ball. So you get something tangible that you can rub or squeeze to
Exactly. Yeah.
relieve stress.
I love the rubbing stone idea because when I like deep breathe or meditate, it's kind of just me in my own head, and that can be a little iffy for me. But having like something tangible to hold, I think is much more up my alley.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We'll go find you a polished stone and
Awesome. Okay.
we'll see how that works. Maybe keep a log of. It doesn't have to be every day, but just some general feelings. And if you feel like you're getting better, worse, on a day to day.
Okay. Sounds good.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll see you. I guess in a couple more weeks.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been really helpful.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. This is debriefing for video 2. I was the client and Cameron was the coach. So we went over how I did with my goals for the previous 2 weeks and established some new goals.
I think it went pretty well. There were a few points where I noticed I was getting a little too direct, and I was trying to kind of lead the conversation one way and force it, but
There was one instance in particular where you I could tell the question you were gonna ask was gonna be a little more specific, and then I could see it on your face, and you directed it more to an open-ended general question, and I think it was actually a really good moment of recognizing, and I think the session ended up being really good and really helpful.
it did. You definitely helped bring it back to another aspect of it, because I was kind of focused still on the yoga, but I'm glad I asked is it working, because you said that it wasn't, which that could be an issue because sometimes you're so focused on the thing that you had prescribed and you're kind of focused on altering that where you're missing an entirely alternative method.
Yeah, it's easy to focus on the one thing that is working, but there's always other areas we can look at. So yeah,
Doing something tactile. That was a great idea since you said that.
Yeah, I mean, you asked a lot of questions on how my goals went in the past 2 weeks, and I think that laid a good groundwork to move forward with the new goals. So I think overall it was really helpful. I didn't once feel like it was going in a direction that I didn't want it to go in, so I think that was a really good sign.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Cool. Hi Cameron, thanks for coming in.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's been 2 weeks since I last saw you. How have you been?
It's been a little better, I think.
Yeah. That's good to hear.
I brought my journal with me.
Awesome. Tell me a bit about how things went and what you put in the journal.
I tried to record as much as I could in the journal. Having it with me during the day definitely helped. Whenever I had any free time or downtime, I would write when I had it. but I didn't really find myself. I didn't really have the motivation to like not watch videos or procrastinate and get outside and de-stress. Sorry, I definitely noticed my motivation was down
Okay.
to actually do something.
Okay, that's good. That's good to note. It is really difficult to get out of routines. We never want to get out of our like comfort zone of the specific routines
Mm-hmm.
we're in. I noticed with myself I have the same problem, but it sounds like the journaling part for you was a bit enjoyable. Am I right in
It
saying
helped
that?
identify areas where I could add some stuff. Like I said, it was just the motivation. On the weekends, though, I did at least get 1 or 2 mountain bike sessions in, or hiking, which that was nice. It definitely helped de-stress and kind of relax me.
That's good to hear. So it sounds like on the weekends it was easier and more enjoyable for you to do those activities, but on the weekdays not so much.
It's just still so busy on the week. And I did record my food, my
Okay.
eating habits, and I even wrote down how much sleep. So it's nice to kind of see quantitatively, like, this is what's going on.
Okay. So tell me about that. Are there any patterns you noticed?
I've definitely noticed that a lot of the stress gets, like, in the beginning of the week, it's fine. When, like, not a lot of assignments are due,
Okay.
it's fine. But as I get, like, closer to the end of the week and, like, towards the weekend, since I want to get everything done, like, Wednesday, Thursday, especially Friday, it just goes out the roof, and it's just kills me. And that's when I notice my eating habits are just out of whack. My sleeping habits are, and that's when my stress is at an all-time high.
Okay. Okay. It sounds like at least you did identify some patterns, so that's good. We can work from here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how capable do you feel of maybe making some adjustments to your schedule, or is it like a pretty rigid schedule?
I feel like I can definitely make some adjustments. I noticed after like writing it out for the past 2 weeks, I noticed consistent like blocks of free time, especially during like the beginning of the week
Okay.
where there's not a big time crunch, so I don't feel the need to do homework. So I feel like I might be able to do some of the homework sooner, like spread it out during the week
Okay.
instead of loading at the end, which would help kind of increase free time overall.
Now that you've noticed this pattern, how motivated do you feel to kind of make this change in your schedule?
I feel like I can do it. I'm at like a 6.
Yeah? Why a 6 and not a 10?
I feel like it's plausible. I just don't know how.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know how to switch to get stuff done sooner rather than later. But I feel like getting it done sooner rather than later would decrease stress.
Okay, well, we can definitely explore doing that because it sounds like it would really help decrease your stress later in the week. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are there any ideas you've had that maybe would increase your motivation to do work at the beginning of the week?
I'm not really sure. Do you have any like suggestions? Because I'm terrible with motivation sometimes.
Well, maybe like I know doing homework with friends can be a bit more enjoyable, and also like scheduling like study groups can hold you accountable for actually attending them and getting some work done.
Okay.
So maybe see if maybe like
Friends from class or something.
friends from class would be willing to meet like on a Monday or a Tuesday to do like to do like a homework session.
Like a video assignment.
Yeah,
Okay.
and maybe you can even make it fun, like make it like a potluck, and
Oh, there we go.
maybe then it holds you accountable for doing work at the beginning of the week, and it can be enjoyable instead of just like sitting by yourself and it being a little more tedious.
Yeah, because I feel like when I'm at home too, there's so many distractions, and that just puts my motivation down too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely look into doing it with friends. And
Yeah. Do you think friends would be willing and able to do that?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Anything else you wanted to go over?
I've been noticing that I'm not really. My stress. It's a little lower, but it's still like up there. Is there like any other way that I could like reduce it?
Well, it sounds like exercising on the weekends helps to lower your stress, and we can try deloading your workload and doing like fun study sessions at the beginning of the week. So we've got like exercising, which is a good thing.
I feel like I want to get my mind off of school sometimes. Like
Yeah.
I like to read and I like to cook sometimes.
Okay.
But and that seems to decrease my stress, but I never seem to like have time to do it. Seems.
Does your stress? I'm trying to better understand the source of your stress, and it sounds like it is schoolwork.
Yeah.
So doing something that would take your mind completely off of schoolwork sounds like the best bet. I mean, first and foremost, I think getting enough sleep is the best way to reduce your stress. So.
Because I do notice that I'm only getting like 5 hours of sleep, if that, even a night.
And I think sleep is going to be really, really important to just like taking care of your overall well-being, and as a side effect, it would reduce your stress a bit, I think. How do you feel about that?
I think it sounds doable. I can try and get an hour or two more of sleep,
Okay.
especially if I'm not procrastinating things and messing around in the evenings. I can get stuff done and then get to bed earlier.
Because I think focusing more on like the important things that are not quite up to what you would like it to be in your schedule, and then once we've kind of tackled that, maybe focus on like adding things to reduce your stress. So does that sound good to you?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay. So anything else you'd like to go over?
And that's it.
Awesome. So just to review, we're gonna try to deload the end of your week by doing like group sessions at the beginning of the week to do homework and study. So and then just maybe trying to get in a couple more hours of sleep during the week. And there was a third thing we went over. Remind me of it again.
The journal?
Yes, the journal. So just keep journaling, because it sounds like it's working for you to some degree. And I mean, just based on the things we've gone over, just I don't want to give you too specific of instructions for the journal. Just write whatever you feel like is helping, what isn't helping, how things are going, and we'll look at that again and go from there.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in,
Thank
Cameron.
you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Okay, this is the second debriefing for video 2. I was the coach.
I was the client. You definitely did a very good job of exploring the goals. You really nailed finding out what worked, what didn't, kind of like narrowing it down, and then exploring additional methods that I could use to mediate my stress.
Yeah, I think we finally like like scrape the surface of like handling the procrastination,
Mm-hmm.
which I felt good about.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of anything you necessarily did that needs improvement. Um, Maybe using some more of the ORS strategies. Um, Affirming and summarizing.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lack of like affirmation.
Mm-hmm. Which when you're trying to explore the goals and set new ones, you kind of forget.
Yeah, I think I definitely should have acknowledged the thing you did good, like the things you did good, and praised you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember ever like saying good job for doing this and this.
It's good to celebrate. It's good to have them celebrate the small victories.
Yeah, I think I didn't necessarily do that, and I think that was a good point to work on.